small. Wow, tiny.
You are currently listening to Tiny Table,
where we explore TTRPGs you might not have heard of.
Whether big or small, we hope to cover them all.
Because we know that great things can come in tiny packages.
Hello and welcome to Tiny Table, where no game is too small. From rules to rolling to review, we teach RPGs so you can play too. And today, we are very excited to introduce our newest partnered game. We are going to be playing the playtest version, specifically version 1.5, of Protect the Child. We are very excited to partner with the creator Mint to showcase this game. Obviously, currently in playtesting. If you're interested in playtesting and joining in on the elaboration process for yourself, Protect the Child has a very cool and active Discord server where they're doing ongoing games. In fact, at time of recording, they're going to be playtesting the exact same quick start scenario that we'll be doing in this show.
Ooh.
Yay!
Specifically, we'll be playtesting one of the 3 quick start scenarios that come in the core rules of the playtest. We will be playing Lily's Angels. If I could have my players go around in order, introduce their names, their pronouns, your characters' names, your characters' pronouns, and given the starting location being an arcade, I want to hear from everybody your best ever haul or the toy or good that got away in one of those Chuck E. Cheese or Dave & Buster style give in your arcade tickets for a prize gift shop.
Hi, I'm Holly, they, she, and I'll be playing Wick, they, them. And the best haul I ever got from like an arcade was when Skyler and I tag teamed up on this one game called Zombie, and we got so many tickets. And we were able to get a huge squishmallow that we still have today in our house.
And as the second part of that duo, hi, I'm Skyler. He, they, it, all interchangeable. And I will be playing Oscar Haze, baby. He, him. And for me, that was a very memorable moment. But I did have another, only slightly more memorable moment because I was a kid and I feel like things like that, the nostalgia value kind of adds on. When I was really young, my parents used to take me to the Great Wolf Lodge every so often, once every year or two. And in the arcade of this Great Wolf Lodge down in like Texas or wherever, I remember around middle school or so, one of the first or maybe second times that we've gone, I was able to save enough tickets by hitting like the jackpot on that like little light machine. It's things like pink, blue, green, yellow, or whatever. And if you hit it on the jackpot, you'll get over 100 tickets or whatever, and more as people keep playing. I figured out the timing and was able to earn enough tickets to get myself a pogo stick, which
Whoa.
Crazy, right? I practiced it enough that I could, maybe still can, it's been a while. I could pogo stick with no hands. Like I could just bounce on that thing, forever.
Hi, I'm Neo. I'll be bouncing on that thing forever. And I use they and him pronouns. I'll be playing the character. I'm gonna be playing Big Al. She, sir. Which is just roughly to say she and him pronouns on that lesbian big butch realness. And for me, it's a one that got away. There was I don't know if you ever know this machine. It was called Stacker. And it was like this little light that would go across side to side. Yeah.
No,
and
I know
you had
exactly.
to hit the button so it perfectly aligned. And that was the only arcade sort of prize thing I had regular access to that wasn't just like a claw machine. And the prize in the Stacker game was an iPod Touch, which was really cool at the time. And I wasted so many quarters trying to get that iPod Touch, and I got really close. But all I could win was a couple of dinky keychains. I never got that iPod Touch. I wanted it so bad. I coveted the iPod Touch.
And for your covetous nature, you are met with only nothingness.
Damn.
Hi, I'm Julian. She, her pronouns. I am, have, and will continue to be your game mistress. I play everybody else of various and indeterminate pronouns. Similarly, mine's the one that got away. I never was able to have the diligence to like save up tickets. Like, you know, you never knew when you were gonna go back to Chuck E. Cheese or Dave & Buster's. We had a tradition growing up where we would meet up with my god family sometime in like January, February. They lived kind of far from us, so it was always a bit of a trek to coordinate this. But we would meet up at a Chuck E. Cheese and do our belated Christmas gift exchange at Chuck E. Cheese, and then just enjoy the arcade for however long. And because that was like at most frequent a yearly event, I was never going to save my tickets, so I had to spend them at the end of every run. So it was always just, you know, I'm getting Chinese finger traps, I'm getting like
Bouncy
balls and stretchy goopy hands and the like.
Classic.
And the perpetual on the shelf, I never got it, nobody ever got it, was like a really nice, relatively like high quality and new at the time Nerf gun that I really wanted. I had like a Nerf pistol, but this was like one of the big proper yellow rifles that had like a magazine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like 20K
I was never
tickets.
a gun girly, but for Nerf guns, I was a gun girly.
You know what they say, it's Nerf or nothing.
It's Nerf or nothing. Before we get into it, did y'all ever, in terms of like dinky prizes, like little sticky hands and things, did y'all ever get one of those? Like, I remember my favorite small prize that I got was it looked like a switchblade, but when you press the button, a comb came out. Did
God,
y'all's
you would be
arcades
into
ever have
that.
anything like that?
You would.
Of course I would.
It's giving Greaser Chic. It's giving middle school production of The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I did, in fact, own exactly the object you're talking about, Skyler, and I got it during my middle school production of The Outsiders.
Wow, that's amazing.
Switchblade comb.
Yep.
I always just got the bouncy ball, the super balls. I had a massive collection.
I got the sticky hand, and my sister and I would just slap each other until my mom took them away.
The worst bouncy ball I ever got, and this will be our final tangent before getting into this beautiful game. I once got as like a prize from this is like 6th grade. There was like if you're on good behavior, you get a toy from the box type thing my teacher would do. And at the end of the year, everybody gets a toy. And I got this bouncy ball that was meant to evoke like a meteorite. But to do so, it wasn't spherical. It was like kind of bumpy and grimbly and whatever, which meant you did not have a predictable understanding of where it would bounce. So I gave it a single tepid bounce and it went kind of askew. I picked it up, gave it another kind of tepid bounce, but it bounced kind of regular. I went, okay, I've got a sense for this thing. Gave it a hard bounce, it hit the floor, flew off at a 45-degree angle, and hit my crush in her vagina. Directly. Went up her skirt, smacked in her, and then fell. And I was so mortified that I might as well have died.
And now it's immortalized forever.
Yeah.
On public radio. Well,
Wow.
never.
Yeah.
Really did kill the dinosaur.
I love how you hit that hard V, you
Yep.
know? You could have just said crotch.
Yep. Nope.
You
No, it
really
was
had
important.
to.
No, it's the fact that it went up the
It's
skirt
important to
that
the
it's like
visceral sense. Yeah, up her skirt, bam. She turned around and, well, I certainly never went on a date with her.
Rest in peace.
Speaking of the embarrassments of childhood, this will bring us right into our narrative here. Though perhaps a little more dire, a little more morose than an embarrassment in front of a crush. We're getting into some heavier topics here. The year is 2016. Yes. So we're off to a bit of a rough start. It's raining tonight in the city of Monk River. Decent-sized city, centered primarily around the Monk River Community Church. For one girl, it's the scariest night of her life. Lily has just come out to her parents as trans, and it's gone about as well as one could expect for a kind of conservative church town. The rain pelts down as young Lily flees from her parents' house with nothing more than a trash bag full of what she could grab before they cast her out. And as she flees through the night, something latent inside her swells, growling and burgeoning. She doesn't have her own car. She's just hoofing it on foot, And as she's going alongside the side of an intersection, maybe with some faint hope of a hitchhike, it all overwhelms and becomes too much to bear. Her skin splits, her form grows, something animal and strange frightens many drivers into a 3, 4, 5-car pileup as her shape-changed form flees the scene. She's receding back into her human self, scared, unsure what's just occurred, terrified that there is no home for her now, as she bursts through the doors of Hazel's Arcade, something of a gathering place for queer folks in the city, the lonely, the insecure. It's already been a favorite spot of Lily's before this, but now it's something more than just a place to hang out with buddies on the weekends. Now it's maybe the only place she can call home. As she bursts through the door, shaking, wet, and afraid, her eyes cast up upon the protagonists of this story. Let's go around and meet those strange and sordid individuals who now reside in Hazel's Arcade. Starting with you, Holly. Who are we meeting here?
So, you see a blurry figure. Wick is the trick taker, and they are a fae. Because of that, their appearance is something that is always a little bit intangible, but the current form that they're taking is one of a mid-sized, very willowy build. They have long, I'm talking hitting the back of the knees, straight black hair, kind of wearing a little cap, kind of one of those, like, it was popular in the early 2000s, like, rimmed, like, knit caps with, like, a jacket that jingles and is full of pins that just engulfs them. Doc Martens tights with like leg warmers, very just kind of like grungy alternative, very smudgy black makeup. Everything about them feels like loud and tingly and smudgy in a way that is like almost like a little irritating to look at. They are the embodiment of 2-day-old mascara that you can't get from the underneath of your eye. And they have the largest vape rig that they're just like just cotton. They do not care. It smells like Fruit Loops constantly. They just kind of always smell like artificial candy. And I think they are hogging like the most popular arcade machine, even though there is like a line behind them. Like they're like the DDR machine and they have their bag on the second like one, and there's a line, and anytime anyone asks, they're like, that's pretty fucking rude, I'm right over here.
Oh, incredible.
Oh my god.
Skyler, let's meet your lovely character.
My character is one that you wouldn't see at first. And maybe most people passing through this arcade will never see. But under the sort of dull, glimmering lights of the arcade, where faint shadows get cast along the ground underneath the machines, underneath the DDR lights as people pass, there is almost a shifting, or in this case by their frame, flickering figure that dances across the walls, floors, and halls of the arcade. Oscar Haze is a living shadow, one whose shape embodies not just the many items, but can also embody the different people. The thing that defines him, how you know you have found him, is there are dull green flames that act as highlights for the eyes, his devilish smile, and a tie when he fully manifests. He is the business beast, the shadow of a man in a jet black suit who mostly interacts, at least in physical terms, by swapping places with whoever's shadow he is currently possessing, just for brief amounts of time. The eyes go green whenever he is momentarily taking on a person to interact more tangibly with the rest of the world. But otherwise, he is a shadow in the background, an opportunist always waiting to strike. Notes here: frame is flickering, eyes are hungry, field is mercantile, and you wouldn't know it, but he is a jazz trumpeter as a little hobby. He loves music, DJs a bit on the side. So I think for him, he likes to passively observe. He likes to watch. There's not really a lot of money to be made in kids, so he's mostly here out of boredom and out of owing a few favors to Hazel, the one who runs the place. So he likes to sit, he likes to watch, but occasionally, every so often, he might just step in and intervene if it seems like it might suit him.
Very nice. Brings us to the last of our cohort, Neo.
So, born as Alana, known as Big Al, is a classic butchy, dykey lesbian. Big red flannel, overalls stained with dirt and oil, big combat boots, huge carabiner, massive ring of clanking keys, and a face quite terrifying. Her upper lip is cleft and torn on the side, and it exposes a small amount of sharp teeth, which makes her quite scary, and, tack on a few eyebrow piercings to complete the look. Much like her facial scarring and piercings, she's very imposing. She's large, she's wide, she's kind of hairy, If it weren't for the scar, there might be a light mustache growing there. Family, large, religious, white trash, 12 brothers and sisters. They attend the Monk River Church. She does not. Along with the dirt under the fingernails and the suspicious cigarette tucked behind his ear, Big Al always lightly smells of good old marijuana.
Hell yeah.
And Big Al is a werewolf. That's right, I'm finally doing the werewolf guys playing the werewolf for the first time on Tiny Table.
Took us 2 years. 2 years of beating around the bush and referencing it. We're finally just doing it.
We're doing the dang thing.
Our trick taker, our business beast, and our bruiser brute. I absolutely love how alliterative and assonant all of these different titles are all gathered here in the arcade. Before we dive into our run, I am going to ask a few questions. So there's a few elements of the character sheet we've saved elaborating on until getting on mic, because it has to do with answering questions of their relationship to the quick start scenario or their relationships to each other. So to begin, each character type starts with 3 different questions on their sheet. We're going to start by elaborating on the answers to those questions, starting with you, Holly.
All right, so my questions are, what trouble did you get yourself into that led to taking care of the child? So I actually think that this will play into Wick's connection with another Fae thief who I think will have, and this is taking a lot of inspiration from the trick taker quick start character that is supplied for this quick start adventure of, I think that Wick, because Wick is not the type of Fae that would ever willingly take in a child or care about anyone else. I think that Wick, in their very kind of dismissive nature, pissed off the wrong Fae and is now bonded in a Fae promise to keep Lily safe.
Do we want to have that be maybe it was like a kind of elaborately worded like something akin to a "you owe me your firstborn" style promise, and when Lily bursts into the arcade, some little like sensation in the back of Wick's head tells them like, oh shit, this kid is the sign off. This kid is the expected result of this like open-ended bargain I'm stuck inside of.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that of Kiskull is the thief that is kind of my adversary. I think definitely there was some sort of promise of like, oh yeah, I'll give you my firstborn or something, or some sort of lie, or like I wanted to steal from someone, and so I was like, I'll give you my firstborn if you give me this, fully knowing that I would out bargain Kiskull or whatever, knowing that I'm never having a kid. So yeah, some sort of elaborate fate promise.
Okay, so yeah, Lily bursts in the room, and suddenly you feel this supernatural connection of like, wait, I didn't burst.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Shite, no!
Oh, that's so good. Next question is, what do you do to make the child laugh? Obviously, some of these are prospective, right? You might not have had more than even passing interactions with Lily in this arcade before, but now that you're going to be kind of tied together in fate, what is it you will do to make Lily laugh?
I'm going to be a right asshole to people.
I love that. And finally, what care task involving the child do you avoid doing, if at all possible?
Emotional management. Any sort of life advice, any sort of good role model. It's not really my thing.
Very cool. That'll move us on to Skyler with Oscar.
Hey.
Your first question is, how would you benefit from taking care of the child?
So we've not yet learned that Lily can shapeshift. But as soon as we do, that is gonna perk Oscar's ears up. Because Oscar is a living shadow. There's, interactions with the world are a bit limited. But if Lily, then I as her shadow can become anything myself. There's a lot of potential there.
Ooh, that's saucy. That's cool. Which of your rivals also wants to profit off this child?
So I know that for the setting, I'm just going to switch back into Skyler for this. I know that for the setting, there is the establishment of Exocorp. I was thinking that Oscar Haze had ties to Exocorp either like as or before he was the shadow kind of creature that he is now.
Do we think that his shadowiness is like a result of the actions of Exocorp?
I think so, because it says that they're big on experimentation. My kind of concept was he was a normal guy and like an entrepreneur, kind of bachelor, made his way up in the company, very like independent, do-it-himself type of guy. A little sleazy, he has a business degree after all. But I think that something went wrong, whether he volunteered for it or he was tricked into it. Something happened that got him caught up in the experimentation end of Exocorp, and it was actually Hazel, the witch here, who kind of helped to stabilize him a bit.
Perhaps he stepped into a very strangely designed machine. It was designed to view a world unseen. And a big light just turned on, and a big flash, he just changed, his molecules got all rearranged.
You
Gotta
did
catch
mention
'em
green
all.
eyes, yeah.
That's so funny. I already established green flames
Oscar
too.
Haze.
That's
Damn.
so funny. Damn. So he got Danny Phantomed into the form that he is now. Absolutely brutal. But I think that, he obviously still has some connections there. I think he definitely sees Exocorp as like, he doesn't kind of like what happened to him. So my thought is that a rival would be someone that he either worked closely with or maybe someone who was competing in like for a high position for. I just have his name as Ralph right now. But
Well, I mean, on the NPC list for the scenario, there's Raskin. So we've aligned the first two letters already.
You know what?
Raskin is an Exocorp employee labeled as a werewolf for hire. And that gives us the possibility of getting
Interesting.
a second werewolf on screen, which is nice and saucy.
I like that. I like that Raskin is a bit of a werewolf. I like the idea that if something crazy went down, their nose is probably going to be first on the scene. I have a feeling that Raskin will figure out about this pretty quickly, and seeing that Raskin might have also been an opportunist, much like Oscar was, I feel like this is going to maybe create some like fun competition and potentially some werewolf on werewolf action. Who knows?
Ooh, we can only dream. The last of your questions then. How do you convince others that you would be a good caretaker for the child?
So, whether this is in a scene that happens later, or this is something that maybe he did when he first met Lily, like some time ago, I like the idea that Oscar, like, through being a living shadow, like, scared off a bully, like, scared off someone who was, like, antagonizing her. He's someone who's kind of always watching in the arcade, and he doesn't know why, but when he was seeing this girl get picked on, he was like, okay, like, enough is enough. And essentially, like, you know, she's getting picked on in like a lone corner of the thing, and suddenly a literal shadow encroaches upon behind this bully. And whether it was through possessing Lily to give her that edge and that grit to like scare her off, or just through being like that shadow creeping over the shoulder, like, hey kid, if you don't cut it out, those monsters under the bed are gonna become a lot more tangible. I'd say you lay off. You know, something like that, veiled threats. I have a
Very
blackmail,
cool.
yeah, as
Very
one of my
cool.
gears, you know, so I think frighten them off. They left Lily alone, and I think, like, you know, that's maybe where some of the connection kind of comes in of like, oh, he'll protect her, he's a good guy, like, it's good old, you know, it's good old Oscar, you know, always looking out for the kids.
You're such a grunkle
That's
stan.
fantastic. Yeah, for real. Fantastic. Well, we'll pivot our attention to Big Al. What job did you have before you found the child? What has your work been?
Big Al works at a warehouse management as a night guard. You know, based on Raskin being a werewolf working for Exocorp, they probably work at an Exocorp warehouse. Just straight up. But they also, they grow and sell weed on the side.
I like it. May I add a fun detail idea?
Sure.
I like the idea, and this is maybe for some fun drama later, that Raskin and Big Al both work for Exocorp, but neither knows the other is a werewolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, originally, I didn't have Raskin be the one who turned Al. That was a childhood connection with Iskal, who is her, like, grew up together friend, who is part of a local gang.
Okay. I like it. So, and I think maybe Raskin and Al have only interacted like once or twice. They're kind of at different tiers of the company. You're working a warehouse. Raskin is like inner circle type vibe. So I don't think you'd ever have had a chance to meet each other.
But I definitely smell something lingering around Exocorp. And
That's perfect.
it unnerves me. I'm like, there's another dog here.
Ooh, good.
Who let their chihuahua shit in the offices?
Where
these-
Chihuahua is the scariest creature of all time.
Yeah.
These
Office
ESAs are getting
chihuahua.
out of control.
These ESAs are getting out of control.
So funny.
Our next question, who do you leave behind to care for the child?
Well, it's sort of interesting because Al has already distanced themselves from their own family, so I think it would have to be Iskal because they're dangerous, right? In Al's story, she used to like run with him and like was turned by him as an initiatory thing, right? To like gain power and dominance in like what was a not great part of town. And she used to be their brute, but sort of quit and took a more peaceful life. So yeah, she would have to sort of leave that criminal life behind. Like, she'll still grow pot, don't get me wrong. But she might stop selling it, which might piss him off.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Iskal's not only the one who turned you into a werewolf, but was also the one that got you into kind of like drug trade, crime, underhanded kind of, ooh, that's juicy. I like that a lot.
This is great. And that, I think, kind of leads very naturally into the next question, though there might be another layer to it. Where did Big Al learn how to fight?
Big Al's got 12 brothers and sisters in a shitty part of town. That's where.
Yep.
Yeah.
The lycanthropy is a bonus.
The lycanthropy was a necessary means to an end to gain and protect herself. A gift from Iskal, if you will.
Juicy, juicy stuff. Okay. So we'll do a quick round robin of your character's connections then. I don't need to hear all 5. I just want to hear each person's positive and negative connection. You can choose from the list of connections that are provided on your character sheet, or if there's an NPC from Monk River that makes more sense to be your positive or negative connection, you can loop them in instead. I'll say that Hazel, the witch who owns the arcade, is friendly with all of you. I don't think any of you need to bother marking Hazel as your one positive connection. That's kind of a de facto home base area for y'all. So starting with Holly, your positive and negative connections.
Okay, so for my connections, so I am realizing that the names from the character sheets of what Neo's connection is with Big Al of Iskal, you said it was?
Yeah, Iskal, which I'm just pronouncing Iskal.
Which is a little similar to mine of Keyskal. So I'm going to change that to one of the prefab character connections from the Trick Taker to Natasha, as to not make everyone at the table and our listeners extremely confused. So Natasha is one of my adversaries. They are another Fae thief. We definitely in millenniums past used to ride together, but Wick is kind of a major asshole and definitely screwed Natasha over many a time to now we are rivals.
I like it.
But on the flip side, Farg is a tree sentinel. Kind of, I think, a lingering tree spirit who is just kind of delighted by me. I think is just delighted by Wick, even though Wick has very few redeeming qualities on the outset.
I love it. The delighted dryad.
I guess that'll move us on to me. This is another situation where we might want to change one of the names. For the name that I think is fine, we have Hecht the Grifter, who I have a positive relationship with. I think is kind of a skeezy businessman in his first life. I think Oscar and Hecht worked together a lot to do some, like street level into higher level corporate like tradings and deals to like make things, smoother for one another. I think they ran some business together. Then the name here that I think could potentially run into issues with Raskin is Boskin. Which is the name of the default healer.
Yeah, let's update that.
Yeah, so to change that, let's do Kaito instead, which I think is one of the names from the Lily's Angels preset. We'll do Kaito instead for the healer. I'm going to write that down. And I have that as a negative relationship because I scammed the fuck out of them. I got a service that I basically did not pay for. I got healed for free or taken care of for free, and I also thought that if something bad happens to one of us or to Lily, having a negative relationship with a healer is the most dramatic.
Guys, are we the problem?
I'm starting to think.
On all accounts, I'm a good person. Sort of.
Let's hear about the different connections for Big Al.
Well, gee, everyone else changed their characters' names. Am I just stuck with Iskal?
Yeah, gotta commit.
Alrighty. Well, my positive relationship, positive in air quotes, I suppose, is Iskal, who maybe will become less positive later. But they were my childhood friend growing up. They ran with a gang, which is honestly just a werewolf pack, and granted me the gift of lycanthropy as a means to protect myself and sort of be part of that pack, who I have slightly distanced myself from. I still grow weed for them. I just no longer participate in a lot of the physical activity. Iskal respects that and acknowledges my talents elsewhere, so that maintains positive for the moment. As for my negative relationship, aside from the one generally from my parents and family, is probably for the town of Monk River. Who is the main church guy? The pastor.
I feel like the Pastor James Klassen is gonna be a negative for everybody in the same way that Hazel's kind of a positive for everybody. He's round about the closest we would have to a central antagonist for this setup.
Okay.
Are you imagining that you would want him as a negative connection in as much as you are close to him?
Yeah, I think I want like a specific negative connection with someone in the church.
Okay.
As my family, we're all devout attendants. All 12 of us.
Okay, yeah, so you can have a negative connection to Pastor Klassen. I think of the three of you, you're the only one that Pastor Klassen would, like, recognize by sight, would know your name, would, like, maybe be trying to get you to come back to church, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or like, you know, to excise my queerness from my body via scripture kind of vibes.
Yep, that's why he wants you back at church.
Yuck. Sky?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it adds like just another degree because they also know your family who probably, you know, has loose ideas of where you hang, what you do, you know, vague ties to like what you are. So even though it's not like a different connection, it is a worsening of a negative relationship that if they like know that you hang here, that like affects all of us in a much worse way than what was going on prior. So I think there's a lot of juice by making that more personal.
I like that. I like it a lot. That brings us to the last of the things we need to answer, which is each of your impressions of each other. You are, in this moment here tonight, as Lily bursts through the door, going to be brought together in a sort of surrogate family moment for her, but I don't think that y'all have been heretofore familial with each other, and there will definitely be some growing pains as you all come together by this strange circumstance. So starting with Holly, I want to know what Wick's impressions of Oscar and of Big Al are currently.
So Wick kind of thinks that Big Al's kind of a stick in the mud and kind of preachy because Big Al's always telling Wick to not be blowing smoke everywhere, which I think is kind of fucking annoying. And then Oscar's just kind of an asshole, and that's saying something because I'm kind of an asshole.
Fantastic. Skyler, what are Oscar's impressions of Wick and Big Al?
Wick is a shitty punk, overdramatic, but a great dancer.
I do be river stepping.
Look, I gotta respect natural talent where it lies, you know. Then for Big Al, she's scary, a stoner, and stoic. But I want him on my side.
I like it. And Neo, what are Big Al's impressions of Wick and Oscar?
Big Al thinks Wick is extremely immature. Aren't you like 1,000 years old? Isn't that your whole gimmick? Why are you chugging that rig anyway? If you're gonna smoke, you go outside, like an adult. But they do acknowledge that they make Big Al laugh, and they appreciate their open queerness. As for Oscar, I think Big Al is a little suspicious of Oscar. You know, they're kind of this like slick, shady businessman, just like, just a real man, just a real pighead, you know, just kind of like of an older mentality.
A literal shady businessman.
Yeah. So Big Al trusts them as like an adult who's in the know, who's clever and street smart, but Big Al does not trust that their heart is in the right place.
Hey, what could I ever have possibly done to give you that impression?
Yeah, you're not the kind of businessman who throws their cell phone into the river when they realize family is everything. That's just not who you are.
Maybe it's who I could be, though.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
The shadow of an iPhone.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those big chunky, like, you know, cell phones. It's like, why do you still have that thing?
I was turned in the 80s. I'm stuck with an 80s mobile phone.
It's durable.
It's humongous. It's a weapon. I beat people to death with this. But only
I'm thinking
in
of upgrading to a
shadows.
Nokia.
In the back, Wick is just trying to, with one of those sticky hands, to see if they can get it to stick to Oscar.
Kid, I have no tangible form, like you're just hitting the wall.
Slap.
Slap! And yet when the shadow of the sticky hand brushes by your shadow, it feels unmistakably ooey gooey. How does the living shadow operate physically? However is funniest.
However
Next
is
question.
funniest.
Or least convenient.
Yes. Yeah. I had, my thought was in my head is like, in dark rooms, pretty powerful, lots of like ability, but I can't go into direct sunlight unless I'm attached to someone as their shadow.
Oh, very cool.
So I like the
Very
idea of like
nice.
some limited movement unless someone's basically willing to escort me, or possibly unwilling, and that can maybe lead to some fun adventures if I attach myself unknowingly.
Very cool. I think we've got a pretty good and three-dimensional sense of these characters now. We'll round out this episode with the scene of Lily's arrival, and we'll lead into our next episode as the run begins. Lily bursts through the door. This is a girl you've all seen once, twice, 3 times. Some of you have some basic rapport with her, but none of you truly know her. Her clothing is like mangled and torn. Her shirt is like hanging awkwardly off of her shoulder. The knees of her pants have like burst open. She's dragging behind her a sopping wet trash bag with a small tear in the bottom that has dropped a few doodads and items she had grabbed onto the ground. She comes in through the door, dragging the bag behind her, and she looks up with kind of a desperate plea in her eyes and says, oh my god, Hazel? Hazel rounds the corner out from the back. Hazel herself, owner of the arcade, is a witch, pillar of the local queer community. They can provide minor enchantments, but they're no miracle worker. They round the corner and see Lily, wet and scared, and quickly makes for the door to close and lock it before turning to Lily and the rest of y'all. I know we had described that Wick was taking up the arcade from a couple folks who have been wanting to play on it, but I want to set the scene here that we are mostly at a regulars only kind of vibe at this point. This is not a point in the night where like the average youths of the city are here, and let's be frank, it's a retro arcade in 2016. This is not the happening spot for young people anymore. So I think I'll just say that it is only the 4 of you here in the arcade. Hazel, the 3 of y'all each hanging out, and young Lily as she comes in through the door.
They just got tired of waiting and left.
Yeah, they've recently left right before Lily arrives. Those last two holdouts. So as Lily bursts in, she's scared, she's afraid. She's looking up at y'all with kind of a mix of confusion and hope in her eyes.
I think Big Al recognizes that clothing situation. As a werewolf, it's very common to just, have to shred through all the clothes you're wearing, so they immediately clock that, and Big Al sort of approaches like, hey, kid, are you okay? You look cold. Here. And I sort of take my jacket and my Carhartt and I sort of wrap it around her.
She pulls it in tight and close, and she says, thanks. Tears start welling up in her eyes. They run slick down her face, mixing with the moisture of the rain and the sweat. She turns around and says, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I
Slow down, kid. Slow down. Hey, a shadow kind of whizzes by, and on the wall, kind of forming as this kind of like, tall, slender man in a black suit kind of on the wall with a flame green tie. He kind of like reaches down and like a shadowy hand kind of stretches across the wall and then onto her shoulder. Slow down, kid. What's going on? What's got you all in a twist?
I came out to mom and dad, and
I'm gonna guess they didn't take it well.
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, they said that they had room in their house for a son, and said I could come back when I was gonna be one.
Oh, you poor thing. Here. Your clothes. What happened to you?
Yeah, you look like you got in a car accident.
No, I've only got my learner's permit. I don't have a car. I was going down the street and trying to hitchhike or see if anyone would give me a ride. I was seeing if any of my friends, if I saw any of their cars, and I was just so scared. I was so frightened, and all the lights started to just blur, and everything went long, and the rain felt so heavy and sharp, and I didn't know what was going on, and I feel like I just blacked out. I don't know. I when I came to, I was outside of this arcade.
I think at some point when Lily is being really emotionally vulnerable and everyone is being emotionally vulnerable, it makes Wick really uncomfortable, and they tried to like sneak out the back, but due to their Fae promise, they gave themselves a Charlie horse. So they like are rubbing it out, and they like turn back around. They take off their big jangly coat and put it over Lily, and is like, all right,
Over my coat.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
We're
a
two
coat
coats
over
deep.
a coat.
I put the shadow of a Coke over the second coat.
All right, this is ridiculous.
It's the first moment you've seen her smile since coming in through the door at the absurdity of the stack of coats. She kind of smiles through the tears a little bit, and she says, I don't know what to do.
Well, based on your clothes and my guess, your blood sugar's tanking right now. You need to sit here. And Al will pull out a treat from one pocket. It's very clearly a dog treat. Looks at it and goes, oh, wait, no, sorry. From the other pocket, pulls out like a little licorice candy. Just like, here, eat this.
Oh, I fucking hate licorice.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I eat it.
Okay.
Your
You can
blood
hit my
sugar's
vape.
low.
You can hit my vape if you want.
Get that thing out of here. And I smack it out of Wick's hand.
Wait, can I?
It's whatever, fine. Just
Can I for real, please?
Yeah, here you go.
She quickly horks down the licorice and follows it with a amateurish 2-deep rip on this big clunky vape rig before descending into a fit of heavy hacking coughs and awkwardly dropping it to the ground. She's kind of just like a quivering stack of jackets that's hacking and coughing at this point.
Hell yeah, always use a chaser, kid. I like your gusto. Do you think you're being followed? Do you think your family's after you or someone? Or I can, Hazel, you mind?
That perks up Hazel's attention, and she pulls out a police radio scanner that she keeps for just in case situations like this, and turns it on.
This is A2 reporting in. Yeah, no, we got paramedics on the way. It's 5 cars. Yeah, it's bad. 60, do we have any reports on what did this? Yeah, I've gotten some phone footage from someone in the passenger seat of one of the cars pulled to the side of the road. I'm not making sense of this. I don't know if rain's messing this up, but it's looking weird. We might want to get some more eyes on this. It's looking like some big animal. I'm talking big. We might need to get like wildlife interest on this, because this is like bigger than a bear, and I can't tell what it is. It's all smeary.
Ooh, I think Big Al sort of hears this and is like, hey, I'm sorry, kid. I think I've only seen you once. What's your name? What's your real name?
She kind of softens at that, and she says, Lily.
Lily. That's a pretty name.
And then, cutting through the air, hard and harsh, her dead name echoes out on those same radio waves. As you hear,
It's still being looked for. before. We need to get another extra couple folks out here on the search. If we got a wild animal on the loose, we need to be double sure we're getting this kid.
I think that animal was you. Can I see your teeth?
She grimaces, pulls back. There's dirt in between some of her teeth, but her incisors and molars and canines all look normal.
Were you bit by anybody recently? Just curious.
What? No? What do you mean?
And I think Al's gonna, get in there and sort of... You're not what I thought. What are you?
That question hangs heavy over Lily, a scared girl who can only answer half of that question yet. A shape changer with no control of her abilities, her temperament, or the precarious situation she finds herself in. When we join next week for the next episode of Tiny Table, the clock will begin to tick. Can you all get Lily to a safe, sustainable place before the police find her? We'll rejoin to answer that question on the next episode of Tiny Table.
We must protect the child.
We gotta.
It's the name of the game. Hi, and thank you for listening to our podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, then we'd really appreciate if you left us a review. If you really like what we do here and want to support us further, you can join us at patreon.com/tinytablepodcast. Our business email is also open for inquiries at tinytablebusiness@gmail.com, and all of our socials can be found in the episode description for any shenanigans you might want to follow. Till next time, see ya!
Welcome to the Shout Out Corner. This week, we would like to thank Anna, a friendly dryad who runs a greenhouse on the edge of town. While she poses as an ordinary gardener during the day, she secretly is the key to Escal's weed empire. Callie, a punk rock zombie who skipped town at a young age to form their own band. They might not be big yet, but Tombstone Riot's new EP is a total hit in the underground scene. Drake, this opportunistic ogre uses their muscle and intimidation to hustle small businesses into scammy protection schemes. They might seem pretty dangerous, but Oscar Haze swears they aren't so bad once you get to know them. E.g., this monster, if you can call them that, is a talking frog. Not like a frog person or a polymorph gone wrong, they're just a normal frog who somehow learned English. Emerson, one of Big Al's co-workers in the warehouse who, unbeknownst to Al, is also a lycanthrope, of sorts. As a were-rat, though, it's a bit harder to tell aside from the fact that the cheese always goes missing from the break room fridge. Jade, the ghost of a hockey player who now haunts the locals. She's gotten really into heated rivalry lately and is trying to write her own spin called Chilling Revivalry, but the name's just not catching on. Joe, a sentient ooze who works part-time at Exocorp as a janitor. They sadly don't do much aside from clean up their own slime trail, but hey, the floors do have a nice sheen to them, so who am I to judge? Jordan, this gargoyle stands posted up at the local library. They've recently been enjoying Fourth Wing and have been looking to get their wings sculpted to be more draconic as a result. They're also way more active and horny on Tumblr lately. Anyway, Cly, a living scarecrow who was brought in to keep birds out of the town's crops. Little do they know, Cly was actually stealing the food for themselves as part of an elaborate heist, and now they're exactly where they want to be. Sneaky. Logan was abducted by aliens and now lives with a strange parasite from another planet. The parasite is sentient, however, and has agreed to pay half of the rent and utilities, so it's actually not all that bad. Where does the money come from, though? Matthew. This leather-clad vampire is the head of a biker gang called the Dusk Brothers. You can catch them down at the pub most nights, tossing back brews and being oddly passionate about encouraging others to become blood donors. Not so subtle if you ask me. Nancy. This town nurse is also secretly a mummy come to life. The mask mandate and some extra perfume help them lay low, but I'll be damned if she can't bandage you up good. Pleasure Goblin is a goblin who it enjoys pleasure, I guess. You can find them down at the casino doing their best giggle impersonation, betting it all on 17 Black. Let ride! Sparky. This Cyclops decided to pursue higher education and now works as an optometrist for primary eye care. They'll get you a great deal on glasses, but only because one of the lenses is always missing. But hey, 50% off is 50% off. Stefan, a shapeshifter who heads the theater department. While their acting is great, their one-person rendition of Hamlet was kind of ruined by the fact that they had to keep running backstage to change costumes. The shapeshifting couldn't really hide the fact that they were really out of breath and kind of sweaty. Tammy, a Sasquatch who works as a delivery driver for ExoCorp. She did have to get their truck custom built though, because they kept pressing on the gas and brake at the same time. Maybe that's why they called him Bigfoot. Anyway, the first 4 notes of Megalovania is just a chill skeleton in a blue hoodie who likes pranks and jokes as much as Wick themselves. They're pretty cool, but I swear they're hiding something. And it's probably nothing. And Thy Dungeon Gal, a literal demon who helps to coach the school's football team. She also runs merch and sales, and through her promotions of the team's uniforms is now known as the Jersey Devil. Huh. Well, with all that, folks, we'll be seeing you next week. Thank you so much, but until then, ta-ta.